All right, so goal for today is to do as many of the front, or excuse me, the back as possible. Might get all the way through 4. We'll get through at least through 2. And you may be treated to some tunes from the neighboring classroom. Okay, so I would like to go. I want you to make a new folder called Green Sheet Numbers. So go new folder, Green Sheet Numbers. Open it up, create document. Start with part 1. It's loud. Okay. What's that? No, I don't actually. All right, so for part 1, we're going to do additive. We'll do this in 3 sections, and actually one we'll use a project tool that will save us like 3 to 4 seconds. Okay, so I'm going to start by making this long center part, which is only 2 inches wide. And we know we can figure out the 3 lengths, the length across the top, the length on the left side that we can't see, assuming there's no part features over there, and across the bottom. And once we have that, we can just connect those points and extrude it too, and then meet back here when we're done. Okay, so let's start a new sketch. We'll sketch on the front plane. We can turn off the visibility of top plane and right plane and front plane. And let's get some dimensions. Okay, so I'm going to start with the vertical left side, which, even though we can't see it, is going to be the same height here, 2, 3, 4, 5 tall. And across the bottom is going to be this length plus this length, which is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 9 across the bottom, and across the top is 3 and 4. So 5 up the side, 7 and 9. Okay, so from here, let's go straight up. Well, we're sketching. Let's look at it straight on. And we'll go like this. And I'm actually just going to make the lines that look roughly correct, making sure to snap them to horizontal, and we'll come back to dimension them in a second. And I'm also going to use keyboard shortcuts to do dimensioning and lines. L gets you a new line. First click, second click, and then D gets you dimension. And I want this to be 5, this to be 7, this to be 9. And do I have my click thing on? I don't. Let me give me a second. I want to turn on the other software. Is it on? It is on. Mouse, show mouse click, save. Why, work. There we go. And no, that's not what we want. We want this and share. There we go. All right, so we're back. And in order to close this loop, I'm going to get another line and just connect this. Okay, and even though we don't know the length of this line, we can see that all the lines are black, meaning they're fully constrained, and that's what we want. So we'll finish the sketch, Go to extrude. We're doing a 3D tool. Let's look at it from a 3D corner or 3D view. What do we want to extrude? We haven't chosen it yet. We choose what we want to extrude, which is this, and we just want to extrude a distance of 2. And that's what we got there. Now, in order to do the other parts, we are going to draw this shape right here, which is the entire left side, across the bottom 5, across the top 3, and connect. We're going to draw that right here. Gosh, that's bad. And extrude it out a distance of 2. And we turn off the origin point now. That's just floating around there. And so we're going to start a sketch on this face. Look at it straight on. And we need a line. And even though there is a line here, it's best practice to go ahead and just draw it again. Actually, let's see if it makes it, if it forces you to do it. So we already have a line across the top. We only want part of it. We want the entire left side and we want part of the bottom, but we should be able to draw a line that connects the top edge to the bottom edge, making sure to not hit the exact center point of either, because that will lock it in. But as long as we have a line that goes from top to bottom, then we should be able to dimension the distance from the end point of this line to the end point of everything. And you can see from the blue circles that are created when I click where I'm actually clicking. So this should be 3 across the top. And let's just go full screen. And across the bottom, the distance from here to here should be 5. And let's see if it will let me extrude with only one line. Let's go like that and extrude. It will let me choose just that. And I want to extrude that. I want that to pop out 2. And check mark. And the only other part feature of this is the same thing sticking out the back. And we are going to go ahead and assume that it's consistent with the part that's in the front, even though we can't see all of the edges. That's fine. We'll draw this same sketch on the other side, but there is a shortcut to doing it. And we need to make a sketch, obviously, on this backside. This will be sketch 3, but we should be able to do, which one is use? Use project edges. So I guess it's this one. If we, okay, so right now you can see there's no sketch, or there's a sketch, there's no plane there. If I click on use project on this face here, when I go back to the other side, you can already see that it drew that face on this plane, which it only took us about 2 seconds to do the first time, and it would have taken us 2 seconds to do the last time. But this ability to have drawings projected onto a new plane is useful, because that way you can make it line up perfectly, and it does save you time, especially with more complex things. And one of the later parts, we kind of need to do it. But here, it just sort of saved us time by doing this exact same front plane on the, and you could see like how it's sort of transparent, see-through there. And so our sketch 3 is done. We should be able to just do extrude, choose this face, and extrude it too. And done. And it'd be nice if home got us back to home. That's lame. Okay, so there you go. There's part 1. I'll close the document. New part, new document, part 2. And let's see what part 2 looks like. Okay, so part 2, I'm going to do subtractive. I'm going to make my chunk of marble and then chisel away what is not part of my beautiful sculpture. So I'm going to make a chunk, make a block of material, the maximum dimension in all 3 dimensions, which I'm going to draw a rectangle that's 4 tall. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 wide, and extrude it. I think it's 6. 4 by 8 by 6. So let's start a sketch on the front plane. Make a rectangle. Looking at it straight on from here, and D for dimension. That is 4 tall and 8 wide. And finish the sketch. Look at it from a corner. I can turn off these origin views, so they're not necessary. Extrude. Okay, it's still red. Choose what we want to extrude, and we want to extrude it 6. And I think that's right. I guess it is. Why does it look a bit off? I guess that's right. It looks a bit strange, but here we are. Okay, so the parts that I want to cut out, I'm going to draw a sketch on the top, which is this shape. But I'm drawing it on the top here, and I'm going to cut extrude it down. Okay, so it's going to, that's not what I want. Move it over, zoom out a bit. And is there a shortcut for pen? There's not. So I'm going to draw this shape on the top, which will be this shape, and cut extrude it down too, and what's left over will be the part. And I can do this with 2 lines. One is right here, which connects there to there, which is 2 inches from the right side, and this one is 3 inches from the front. And then the other line goes from front to back, 1 inch from the left here, and 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 from the left there. So let's see if we can remember that. Sketch on the top. Look at it straight on. And we'll get a line tool somewhere on the, I want to make sure I don't snap it to center point. So I just need a line that looks roughly correct. Dimension, and dimension the distance from the end point here to the corner. That was 2. And the distance from here to here is 3. And then the other line goes from front to back, roughly like that. And even though this end is definitely farther over here, I just want to make sure it doesn't snap to anything. And so dimension, distance from here to the corner was just 1. And the distance from here to the corner was 5. And if we look at it from our front corner, you can see it's on the top there. We'll finish the sketch. Let's extrude, choose that, switch it to remove, and we want to remove a distance of 2. And there we go. Part 2. And part 3. Okay, part 3, we'll do additive. We'll make the sort of larger wedge first, which is just going to be like one of the other ones we've done. 1, 2, 3, 5 tall, 3 across the top, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Connect and extrude 5 that way. So we can close this document, make a new document, part 3. sketch on the front face or the front origin plane. Turn off the visibility of our origin planes and look at it straight on. Line tool, vertical, making sure to snap it to vertical, making this one snap to horizontal. And this one snap to horizontal. I'll come back and dimension it when I have all three. Dimension, this one needs to be 5 tall. This one was 3 across the bottom, and this one was 8 across the bottom. And we just had a line connecting them. Finish the sketch. Extrude, choose this, and it was 5 front to back. And the other part, I am gonna make a actually a square that's 3 by 3 on the backside and extrude it forward. Part of my extrusion will go into what I have, but that's fine. It should work fine. But it's an easier way to make sure that you don't, the dimensions and the lines don't go the wrong place. So I'm actually going to look at it from the back, do a new sketch, and the square I need, the rectangle I need, is going to be like this. And I think it'll be all right if I snap it to that. Either way, I want this to be 3. And I actually already have this to be 3 because I snapped it on a 45-degree angle. But that's fine. 3 by 3. Finish the sketch, extrude, choose our shape, and then choose. Yeah. So change the direction, but we aren't removing material. We're just having extrusion go a different direction. Hopefully that shows you what's happening. And we want to extrude it 3. And there you go. That is part 3. And we'll close this. Create document. Part 4. Part 4. We'll do this subtractive. We're going to make, as always, a chunk that is the full size. So that's 5 that way. 3, 2, and 3 is 8 this way. 5 this way. So 5 by 8 by 5. And then we'll come back and figure out the dimensions of the other things. Sketch on the front. Get rid of being able to see these origin planes. Rectangle this way. Dimension 5 this way. 8 this way. Finish sketch is extrude E, shift E, and we'll extrude it 5. Okay, and the parts we want to cut away, we are going to make one sketch, and in the same sketch, make this 3 by 3 rectangle and this 3 by 3 rectangle on the top. And when we have that, we can cut extrude down what we don't want, which is 3 inches going straight down. So let's start a sketch on the top and look at it straight on. And if you're not sure where we're sketching on the top. Although at this point it's has 2 identical dimensions, but whatever. We need a rectangle starting from here and another one over here. We need to dimension it 3 by 3. Same thing here. 3 by 3. Finish the sketch. And then extrude. Choose our 2 rectangles, switch it to remove. And the distance to remove is 3. There we go. Okay. There's only 2 other part features. One is going to be this. In order to make this slope face, we're going to draw a line across here, which just connects the corners. We don't even need to dimension it, and cut extrude all of this stuff. And on the other side, in order to make this slope face, we need to draw this line, which snaps to this corner, but it doesn't snap to the top left corner. It is 1 inch from that point, and cut extrude everything else. And I think we can do that without having to come back. So we need one sketch here. Actually, all right. So the way I would do this is this way, just a sketch, a line. What is going on here? A line, finish sketch, and extrude. But that way is boring. Okay, that's one way to do it. But there's another thing called chamfer, which is, I think we talked about it before. You can see here, it's a part feature. You don't need a sketch to do it. You can see from the little pictograph here that it's a knocked off corner. So we choose that. We need to choose the edge. Instead of choosing a face to sketch on, we want to choose the edge. And the dimensions that we give it are how far in. So if we set it to equal distance, we want to tell it how far, come on, how far from this corner we want to cut away, which is all of it, because we want our cut to be that way. So we want our equal distance to be 3. And if you do equal distance, it will end up with a 45-degree angle because that's equal distance. You can do 2 distance, which will be like, which we can do for the other one. So why not? Okay, so let's do equal distance and set it to 3 and hit OK. Excellent. And then this side we can chamfer, choose this. And instead of equal distance, we want to choose 2 different distances. And these 2 different distances are, one is the distance from this corner this way, which we want to be 2 because it stops an inch short of the other thing. And this one we still want to be 3. So one of them needs to be 2 and one of them needs to be 3. So let's see if 2, yes, so 2 goes that way. It's hard to tell which one is the first distance and which is, I bet you could switch them and it would be like that. Yeah. So if you guess which one, if you guess distance 1 is like the vertical one, which it's not, you can just click on this arrow to reverse them. But this is what we want. And actually that was a little quicker than making a new sketch. And there you go. That's part 4. We'll chop it off there for processing purposes. And there you go, 1 through 4. Let me know if you have any questions.